All right, so today we're going to learn about dot plots. So a dot plot is a data representation that uses a number line and X's or dots or other symbols to show frequency. So it's an easy way to visually see the data, look at it. You can look at it and see basically what the distribution looks like. You can easily see what the range is. You can easily see what the mode is, what numbers occurring the most. So it's a good way to just represent your data. So I'll show you how to do how to make a box plot or dot plot with this first example. So we've got 15 students were asked how much they exercised in a week. Below are the results of the survey. So you can see the range of data that we have here. We could put it in ascending order and try to make some type of frequency table, and that way help us do the dot plot. But we can do it quick and easy just by first doing selecting a number line with an appropriate scale for the problem. So I can look at this and go, okay, I know my numbers are ranging from 1 to 9, right? So I can do a simple number line, and I did it from 0 to 10. But what we'll do now is we'll put a dot above the number line for each time that value appears in the data set. So let's do that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go, okay, work my way down this list. I've got an 8, so I'll put a dot above the 8. I've got a 5, put a dot above my 5. I've got another 5, put a dot above that. A 9, an 8, I put my second dot above that. And you sort of want to keep them on the same level, right? All my first ones are going to go here. I don't want to take one and, like, if I had a 10, I don't want to put the 10, the first dot of the 10 all the way up there. I sort of want to build them on top of each other, sort of like Connect 4, if you ever played Connect 4. So I've got a 1, I'm going to put it right there. An 8, put it up there. We got our 6, another 9, 5, 7, another 1, 3, one more 6, and one more 9. So if we were playing Connect 4, nobody won, right? So that basically is how we make a dot plot. So again, you go through your list and you put a dot above the number line for each time that the value appears in the data set. So you're just going to put it just to show that how frequent that is. And then when you look at this, you can go, okay, easily I can tell my range goes from 1 to 9. I know that my mode is going to be represented, mode is going to be 5, 8, and 9. So those are the numbers that occur the most on this list. You could do all that from this, but it's definitely, it looks better when it's set up as a dot plot. So now I'm going to have you guys take a look at this one, and I'm going to stop on the ed puzzle, and you guys are just going to answer the question of which is the correct dot plot. So is it A, B, C, or D? Feel free to write it down on paper, set up your own number line, and then see which one it is equivalent to. All right, so I'm going to stop now, and you guys can select which answer. All right, so now we're going to go down and just go over data distributions. So a data distribution can be described as symmetric, right? Symmetric, skewed to the left, skewed to the right, all depending on the general shape of the distribution in a dot plot or other data display. So when we're doing the normal or symmetric distribution, so being symmetric, if I drew a line down the center here, I could fold it along that center line, and this side would match up with that side, right? All the data is in the center. So my mode is in the center, my mean, my median, everything is right there in the center. So they want us to, right? So most of the data is in the, whoops. Let me do this. Most of my data is in the center. So now it's saying the mean and the median are accurate measures of center. So my mean, my median, they're pretty close to each other, if not equal to each other, when we have a normal symmetric distribution. When we go down to where we have skewed to the left, so this one is called skewed to the left. You can see that it sort of, decreases, tails off to the left, right? So it looks like it has a tail. That tail is pointing left, so that's called skewed to the left. So if you can't remember that, just remember, look for the tail, whichever way the tail is pointing on the data, that's what you're going to call it. So the tail is pointing left, it's called skewed to the left. So when we have skewed to the left data, the tail of the data is on the left. Right? Most of the data is on the what? So if I take a look at this, most of my data is on the right side. So most of the data is on the right. And in this case, when that happens, we actually would get, and let me just write this. So let's say our median would probably fall, somewhere around here. Our mean is actually going to be more left than the median. So in this case, when that happens, the median is the better or the more accurate measure of center, right? Because the median is always going to have 50% of the data above it, 50% of the data below it. When we have a mean that gets pulled off, further left in this case because it's skewed to the left, it's actually going to have a higher amount of data above it. So that's why the mean isn't as or it's not evenly, it's unevenly distributed about the mean that the data is. Okay, so that's skewed to the left. For this one, we're going to do skewed to the right. And again, we look at our data. Data has a tail. The tail points to the right. So it's skewed to the right. Again, this is represented as a box plot. So the first question here is the tail of the data is on the right side. Most of the data is on the left side, right? I mean, most of the data is right here. So most of the data is on the left side. And again, the median is a more accurate measure of center, okay? Because again, the median is always going to have 50% above, 50% below it. And in this case, if we were to, if I guessed at where the median is, here's our median, all right, and then our mean is going to be more right of that, okay? So it's unevenly, the numbers are unevenly distributed around the mean as opposed to the median. So the median is a more accurate measure of center, right? So what I'm going to do is I want you guys to take a look at this first problem here. So you're going to look at this on Edpuzzle. It's going to ask you a couple questions about what type of distribution do we have. Feel free to go back, check it out. Remember, always ask yourself, which way is the tail pointing, okay? So I'm going to stop now and ask some questions. All right, and now we're going to do the third problem. So you're going to answer the questions on Edpuzzle, and then we'll come back and we'll do our last, the fourth problem. All right, and here is our fourth problem. This distribution, answer the questions on Edpuzzle, and then we'll continue on. All right, thank you.